just a very brief little overview of Moodle for anyone who hasn't seen it before. This is the version of Moodle that we have at Harborne at the moment. Not particularly populated because that wasn't really rolled out as such, but we do have one course with some content, which was the one that I was setting up for GCSE computing. So you can see text and images have been added, and we have some further links down here. We have some course information that's been added. Just added an image of the different units, and there's some links in there as well to go to the OCR page. Navigation's not always the most clear in Moodle. You've got a breadcrumb trail at the top, which is probably your sort of easiest way to jump around, although you do have these course categories as well here, but it's not particularly sort of visual or graphical. We've got some more just links down there that was sort of created in the same way. If we go over to the theory side of the course, which is where for a while I was putting most of the content I was putting onto Moodle. Let me just turn editing off at the moment. You're seeing an edited version of that page. I've created a block for each chapter, and then each chapter has some extra things for the students to do that they can follow. We have links to a web page. Let's just open that up. Test your knowledge of the CPU with this short quiz, a link, and that just goes directly through to a little quiz on a website. Simple as that. The back button takes me back pretty smoothly. There's even a Word worksheet on there which will download here, but you can't sort of open it online as such. So how was all that created? Because the content's pretty much the same for all of that there. This is only a very brief little overview of it, but if we turn editing on, now we have to turn editing on to do anything, and then suddenly we get lots and lots of symbols appearing by different things, and this is kind of confusing for a teacher that hasn't used Moodle before. It still can be a little bit bewildering even when you've used it a few times, because you forget what all the different options are. But for example, if I wanted to add a further resource here, if I clicked on add an activity or resource, I've then got to choose what kind of activity or resource it is. So if, for example, it was a file, I would click File, I would click Add, and then we have to sort of give things names, assignment, give it a description. There's quite a lot in Moodle that you have to add detail before you can actually just add the thing that you want to add, which you know, is, I think, unfortunate. I mean, here I now have to upload a file to put a file in, rather than just picking a file off my computer, which is sort of quite a long process really. And then when I had done it, I could save and return to course once I'd added it. But it takes so long, you see, even to show it in a short video is kind of long-winded really. Some of the functionality down here can be confusing as well. I think it's the good and bad thing of Moodle. You can do anything with Moodle if you know what you're doing, but very few people do. And I think students have a similar experience really of Moodle to teachers really. Teachers tend not to use it because they find it too confusing and too long-winded to add things. And I've certainly known students that haven't wanted to interact with Moodle because it just doesn't look like something they would want to. I suppose that's a negative way of looking at it. There are positives. It's free, it's an open source community, so anybody can write a block or a code, but as I said before, the thing is you've got to have a Moodle developer on site, otherwise you're always going to keep running into problems. So that is the briefest of brief overviews of Moodle for now.